Greetings one and all, my name is Lancer and welcome back once again to Fate Zero. Last time on, some recovery from the battles from episodes 4 and 5. Short-lived though, because Saber was coming face to face with Castor a lot sooner than expected. Meanwhile, Gilgamesh has confronted Kirei, wanting to know if he could be of service to him, since for Gilgamesh he finds Tokiomi very boring, and Kirei interesting. All culminating in Castor and Kayneth launching an attack on Kiritsugu and Saber. Castor, of course, going for Saber because he believes her to be Jeanne d'Arc, which if you're familiar with Fate and you know Jeanne d'Arc, it's easy to mix them up. And meanwhile, Kayneth has launched his own attack going directly for Kiritsugu, trying to take out the Master of Saber. So what will be the results of these crazy forest battles? Oh yeah, and also Lancer saved Saber, exclaiming a Vegeta-like thing of no one kills Saber / Kakarot while I'm around. Some fun stuff to come, so let's just get right into the episodes. Oh yeah, and Kiritsugu told Airi to run.
Another intruder has just arrived. They're waiting for us. The one who's coming is Kirei Kotomine.
Already. Can Kiritsugu's girls handle Kirei?
We mustn't let him get to Kiritsugu. No matter what we have to do to stop him, Kirei Kotomine represents the most dangerous threat that Kiritsugu has ever had to face.
Yeah, their relationship is interesting.
Isn't the human heart a funny thing?
Before we get into this next segment, yeah, their relationship's interesting, because I mean, obviously, Iris is definitely aware of Maya and Kiritsugu's interesting relationship. I mean, obviously, like, Kiritsugu and Maya, it's like, their relationship is definitely more work-based. It's definitely based. But obviously, there is some tension there. I mean, obviously, Kiritsugu does care about Airi. I mean, the whole, like, basis for their relationship was one of work. I still don't know the full backstory of how Kiritsugu came to be in the service of the Ainsburns. I don't think it was just that Oct reached out to him. There was some, like, circumstantial stuff, but he still does care about her. But he cares about Maya as well. But yeah, it's fun seeing them interact, because it's like, obviously Maya harbors a little bit of disdain towards Airi just because, you know, the woman of my man, but Airi is just Airi. Back to this fight.
You repeat an attack you know to be absolutely futile.
How about this one? Oop, that broke through. I love this shot. Just casually goes around the corner.
Ineffective childish attack simply lulled me into lowering my guard.
I love that Kayneth does all the talking in this fight.
You will pay with your life.
Fucking Malfoy. I love that Kiritsugu doesn't talk at all in this fight. Kayneth does all the talking. He lets his actions speak.
It's not going to work on him twice.
Well,
He'll channel all his mana into his defense. That's exactly what I need him to do.
Kira just casually running. He has so many of those. That easy. Again.
Maya, no!
Explode his brain! That was an illusion. I love how he could just block bullets. Oof! I've always loved this fight. It's so gritty.
Woman, this may come as a surprise to you.
You will never reach Kiritsugu, Emiya, tonight or ever. We will stop you. Regular magic won't be enough to stop him!
She's not a regular mage. The thread magic. That's the only time this song plays as well. Punch the bird. Oh, I love the Ainsburn thread magic. Ooh. When I first watched this and it showed like that shot of his ass, I thought he was like thrusting the tree to like break it. Nope, he's just goated. I want a whole show of Kirei's backstory. Like, we pretty much have the whole story, but I want to see just all of it, like him training, everything that led him to this point.
You bastard!
Oh, in the throat. Jesus. Back to these two.
What say you to taking an all-or-nothing gamble?
Very well. Count me in, Saber.
I shall clear a path for you.
I keep saying it, but
one chance at this.
it's so Goku and
Lancer,
Vegeta.
Can you run on the wind?
I understand. It's child's play.
Can you run on the wind? Come on, guys.
Strike.
Just a little bit of Excalibur in there. Can you run on the wind? The spear that negates magic. I think you could just kill him, but yeah, that was cool. So much blood. Was this Kill Bill? Oh, the music.
Did you like that?
Oh man, I mean, it's a cool like team up. Saber's ability to have like long range, like wide AoE attacks, and Lancer's like precise attacks. They're a match made in heaven. It's a shame that they have to be enemies. Like a bouncing little thing.
You skulking little rat. Lowborn scum.
He's such a like Draco Malfoy.
I shan't let you die easily.
Just doesn't say anything.
You will curse the Einsburns for making a mockery of the Grail War. Insolent.
I love his voice though. Yep, here we go. He's counting on the defense.
I knew you'd do that.
And he knew you'd do that.
You struggle in vain.
Pocket smoke.
It's my master. He's in danger.
Lancer, hurry to his side. Go to your master's aid.
Kiritsugu's not gonna like that.
That must mean that all went according to Kiritsugu's plan.
Well, except this part.
Your origin is based on tying, kid.
Yeah, a little bit of this story.
If they attempt to use any magic against it, your origin will interfere with and destroy their magic circuits, which will reconnect improperly.
I love origins.
These will be your ace in the hole.
Origin rounds. And then shoot him with the other gun, but yeah. He should be dead, losing that much blood, man. Oh yeah.
Never forget this. The reason you survived our encounter is the nobility demonstrated by the King of Knights.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't forget that. That's cool, though.
By whose order do you dare attack? You do not possess command seals. Who ordered you to fight me?
How could she talk if you're choking her? It's unnecessarily brutal. Well, Irie's dead.
Could these women have challenged me of their own accord? Without being ordered to do so?
They love him that much.
Kiritsugu Emiya is like me. He is alone and empty inside. Understood by no one.
He's just like me for real.
Had I been only a second faster, this would never have happened to you.
Well,
Irisville, how?
I want you to carry Avalon, Irie.
Yep.
This is a noble phantasm that heals its bearer's wounds.
People might think of that as a cop-out, but like they said that in the very first episode. And also, if you're familiar with Fate, you know that that's just a thing, that Avalon can heal wounds.
You will be the one who'll be working with Saber from now on.
It's smart.
So you should have it.
Kiritsugu, he does his work from afar, so... And Irie's always gonna be with Saber.
From the moment you touched me, I felt Avalon's power. Thank you, Saber. We were lucky today.
Yeah.
But there's no telling what will happen next time. Next time, we'll win for sure.
Yeah, you go, girls. Yeah, you go. What an episode, man. Underrated one, I'd say. Again, like, that's this whole first season, really. Though a lot of people prefer the second season, there's so many just little bits in this. Just that whole fight with Irie, Maya, and Kirei. But alright, episode 9. Oh, yes! Lancer backstory.
Fionn Macomhail, hero of Ireland and leader of the Knights of Fianna, and my daughter Granye are pleased
Granye, that's right.
to announce their engagement.
That striking man with the mole beneath his eye. What is his name? Diarmuid.
Traitor, you will suffer for this, Diarmuid.
Patrick Seitz again. Man. He had a sword, too. Could have been a saber.
Fionn has recognized our marriage.
Did you believe I'd forgotten what happened with Granye?
Oh, yes, servant dreams. We're about to get into one of my favorite Fate concepts.
Could those have been the memories of my servant?
That's one of my favorite Fate concepts. I can't explain why, but the master of the servant will have dreams of their servant's past, of their life. I wish we saw more of that in Fate. Imagine Ryunosuke going to sleep and dreaming about Gilder. I mean, he'd probably enjoy it. Probably be a wet dream for him, some of the stuff Gil has done in his life. But yeah, imagine like Tokiyome going to sleep and dreaming about Gilgamesh, and even Kiritsugu like dreaming about Saber. Just that little bit, that was only like 2 minutes, and you got like the full story of the art. I mean, not the full story, but like the important part, like his death. He served under Fianna, who was an Irish king, I believe. He was descendant of a Celtic war god. Interesting. Well, again, this is Fate lore. I don't know how much of it is actual lore. It's cool though, just that whole story, just his betrothed, his fiance, Granye, fell in love with Yarmu, and I guess that ties to his whole like powers as a servant, just like the mole that enchants women. Like it can be seen as a blessing to some people, but for Yarmu it was a curse. That's why he tells Saber, just like blame it on my birth. He betrayed Fianna. It's a thing where yeah, you feel sad for Yarmu, but it's like, I don't know, kind of justified in Fianna's thing. I mean, not murdering, but, you know, getting that vengeance, just like you stole my wife from me. It's a tale as old as time, forbidden love. Slow.
Slow!
But your magic circuits were utterly destroyed. I'm afraid you'll never use magic again.
Such an irony, because throughout the whole beginning of this, it's just like he's so proud of his magic. Lowborn trash. And all it took was 1 bullet from Kiritsugu. Now he's no longer a mage.
Why don't you give the command seals to me? That way, I can take over as Lancer's master.
Slow.
Even if he must take on a new master, he will accept it for the sake of his goal.
He won't. He said to me, I have no interest in the Holy Grail. I won't give you the command seals.
I love this scene so much. Oh my god. Just so slowly.
You will leave me no choice. I will have to amputate your right arm. What's your answer?
I love that shot of her. Salawaman. A simple, almost kind of blink and you'll miss it kind of character in this story. Didn't know we needed a yandere in this story. Not a yandere for Kayneth though.
I'd like you to speak to him for me. Tell him I feel that we must pursue Castor immediately.
May I come in?
Comes in anyway.
I'm going to go follow Kayneth.
No, Kiritsugu, wait a minute. Are you angry at Saber for not interfering with Lancer?
Airi.
Not openly.
Saving a few children, or even a few dozen for that matter, is not our goal. But if Lancer had betrayed her, then what? Our Grail War would have ended right then and there. There's no need to tell her where I'm going.
And thus the story's divided. You may be mad at him initially, but at the same time, like, but then you gotta think about it. It's just like, Kiritsugu has that mindset of needs of the many versus needs of the few. You know, his goal is to save the world, remove all war and conflict from the world. That's his wish. And so the way he sees it, if he needs to sacrifice a couple things, he's already sacrificed so much. And of course, Saber's thing, you know, Saber doesn't want to sacrifice anything. We haven't really seen that clash just yet, but it's something to look forward to, in a way. And then also, it's like, Kiritsugu is justified in trying to go after Lancer and Kayneth, because it's like, Saber, she still can't use her left arm. Saber wasn't able to use her full power against Castor, so it's like, if they went after him, it would be the same result.
How fares Master Kayneth?
Not well, I'm afraid. But I've done everything I can for him. All it means is that the Grail War was far too much for him to handle.
Specifically Kiritsugu.
Kayneth has abandoned the battle, giving his rights as your master to me.
As a knight, my loyalty is eternally pledged to Master Kayneth.
Lend me your support. Come and help me win the Holy Grail.
I cannot. If Master Kayneth...
So honor-bound.
Do you speak as Master Kayneth's wife? And seek the Holy Grail only on his behalf? Is that what you're saying?
Roses? Yes, of course.
Yeah, sure.
I shall bring my husband the Grail.
Just mean to give him the wish.
That look in her eyes.
Nah.
It is the same as Grania had. What I seek from this life is the loyalty denied me in my last.
It's, oh man, so many layers to that. It's so rich. That's why I love Lancer. That's why I named my fucking channel after him. Well, not after him specifically. I mean, he was a big part of that, but just like, you know, the class as a whole. He was the face of my channel for so long. It's just, each and every one of these characters is just so rich and deep. Like, even though at the end of the day, it may be simple in some ways if you break it down, but just that, just like you see his life at the beginning of this episode. He betrayed his king, his country, his whole living, and he died for it. He sacrificed his honor for the sake of love. And now when he's given the chance to return to life, like, even though Kayneth says just like he has no wish, no desire for the Grail, he has a different desire. He wants to revoke that honor, that loyalty. It's just a shame that the person who he has to give it to is fucking Kayneth Archibald, the least honorable man out of everybody. Well, not everybody, but you know, he's not exactly a noble master. It's just kind of sad. I kind of want to see an alternate reality where maybe initially Kayneth, you gotta remember, like, Ryder was supposed to be Kayneth's servant because he had the relic, but again, Waver took it. So like, where's the alternate reality where it was switched, where either Waver didn't enter the Grail War or Waver took whatever relic Kayneth used to summon Lancer instead, and instead of having Waver and Ryder, we have Waver and Lancer, and then Kayneth and Ryder, you know? Like, I feel like there's an interesting thing that could be done there, with Lancer being so honor-bound and wanting to reignite his loyalty, and Waver wanting to prove himself in some way. I feel like there is a good story there, a good what-if tale. Maybe I'll pursue that in the future.
I understand Kiritsugu's reasoning.
I love these two, the two stories back to back.
Lancer and I could have finished our duel in an honorable fashion. Is there no
Maybe.
chance of Kiritsugu changing his mind?
She just says nothing.
For Kiritsugu and me to make our ideal world a reality, you are absolutely essential.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be in the war otherwise if you didn't have a servant. Ah, yes, lighthearted stuff, finally.
The simple pleasures of home and hearth are what are truly best in this world.
Oh my! You
Worry over how Waver is doing at his school in England. But if he's managed to make...
It is I who am in his debt. See? He even picked out these fine pants. Look at the craftsmanship. They're fit for a king.
Triple XL pants.
Futon? Oh, yes, the bedding that they sleep on in this land.
Man is the size of the room.
About traveling to distant foreign lands. My favorite thing in life is the surprise of the unknown.
As you conquer the land.
Why must I, the king of conquerors, go forth to draw water from some country river?
There you go.
Are you playing at being an alchemist?
I'm not playing. I am an alchemist, idiot.
Full Metal.
To accomplish something so impressive, using a simple method outshines those who use a more complex technique. Now that we have his location, he's as good as ours.
What kind of moron would just go bursting in the front door?
Ryder.
My master has finally contributed something of worth to our great endeavor. As your loyal servant, I must also do my sacred duties. Let us go and see what we can find. It may well work out.
Ryder versus Caster.
Everything has worked out splendidly.
Just charging through the starfish. Interesting that they didn't regenerate.
Hey boy, I think it would be best if you didn't see this.
Yeah. Should've listened to him.
This is no time for pride, foolish boy. Your reaction is natural. If I saw someone who could look on all of this and still remain unmoved, I would punch them hard.
What about you? You look fine, just like you always do.
He's seen a lot.
Because my young master is in mortal peril.
Oh, an assassin.
Anyone in this war who believed in Assassin's untimely demise as we did has been thoroughly deceived.
They ran, didn't they? Should we really leave it like this?
Set it ablaze.
With his hideout destroyed and completely in ruins, Castor will no longer be able to hide. And after that, it won't be too long before we put an end to him and his master. Let us be off, boy.
A little lighthearted stuff. Kirei.
But from this encounter, we found out that Ryder's master is a mere third-rate mage. Dignity is required even during battle.
But I never expected that he'd be such a dull and boring person.
Haven't seen Gilgamesh in a while.
Have Assassin continue to monitor Ryder, but remind them to take great care as they do.
Yes, my teacher. It will be done.
Thy will be done. Sheesh. That was a good segment of episodes. Slower paced, but good nonetheless. Well, that was episodes 8 and 9 of Fate Zero. Again, slower paced, but good character building across all the boards. The biggest takeaways I would say in terms of character building, Maya, Lancer, and Waver, I would say, are the biggest ones between these last two episodes. I mean, every episode in some extent builds upon each character. I mean, even Irie had really good development in episode 8. More for Maya and Lancer, I would say, not so much development, it's more just building upon the character, I would say. Obviously, from where we're at right now, we're still sort of really being introduced to certain characters in terms of their motivations and whatnot. The development side, I'd say, doesn't come more to, like, obviously, once we get later into the story. So that scene with Ryder and Waver and Caster's cave, it's just because you're just so used to at this point just seeing Ryunosuke and Caster just kill these kids, but then like just seeing a normal person and Waver just react to it, it's fucked. But I love as well just Waver talking to Ryder, just being like, you look completely fine, like what's wrong with you? And you gotta think about like Iskandar, it's just like, you know, he's king of conquerors, though he's a very proud and, you know, joyful seeming person. It's like he has a lot of blood on his hands. As Kiritsugu said in one episode, it's like that idiot conquered most of the known world. He saw his fair share of death and destruction caused by him, but just, you know, at the time, the greater empire, they're praised and whatnot. It's like the lesser empire, they just weren't strong enough. And again, though Fate gets memed on a lot, obviously for many different reasons, Fate Zero at the very least, it gives a good showing of, you take these historical and mythological figures who ruled in their time at one point and bring them to the modern day. Of course, like Saber said, they get knowledge of the modern world and just like everything in history up to that point. Well, not everything in history, but just, you know, what eventually happens. It's something that future Fate stuff definitely lacks, is just building on that. Do they regret what happens in their life? I mean, going into the next couple episodes, it's stuff that we'll definitely delve more into, so I'll save this conversation for later. You know, it's good setup for an interesting conversation that we'll have later. But also just some amazing fights, wrapping out Kayneth and Kiritsugu's fight, as well as Saber and Lancer fighting Caster, but also Irisvale and Maya fighting Kirei, an unexpected fight. But just again showing Maya and Irie just how dedicated they are to Kiritsugu. Even Kirei just like, why did they fight me of their own volition? He's just so flabbergasted. Just like he says, just like Kiritsugu, just like me. He's cold and empty inside. He's just like me for real. Just more building onto an interesting rivalry. A rivalry between characters who haven't even met face to face yet. Either way, this was my reaction and review of episodes 8 and 9 of Fate Zero. Join me next time for episodes 10 and 11. Oh, episode 11. I can't wait for that. As well as everything else that'll be coming out soon. So until next time, I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.